Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're going to check the things that make an account strong. So it is not limited to weapons, supporters, but there's a bunch of other things that are going to make your account strong. And sometimes as players we forget about them because there's just too many mechanics that you have to take into consideration. But if you work on them little by little, you're going to have a strong account. So let's start with this section. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe. Also, comment on other tips that you have to make your account strong or anything else that I forget to mention. So we're gonna start with supporter formation. While you progress in the game, you're going to get supporters, and when you get a supporter, you want to awaken them. You want to get as many copies as possible. You want to we cannot see that here. Here, let's see, I'm gonna use her. So you want to go here and upgrade it, give it books, and click on upgrade. Then when that happens, you're going to be awakening your character. Like, okay, I'll guess I'll do it with which this Sharia. Yeah. We upgrade it. Then it's a success. It's at max level already. So I just click on awakening, and by using resources, I'm going to get the next awakening, and the limit for my character for my character's level increases. And if I do this once again and one more time, now it's fully maxed out the level. And this is going to be good because the more you awaken your characters, the more levels you're going to get. So back here, you can see that in this section, it mentions the things that give you HP. The supporter acquired, that's one thing. For example, a one that I don't have. So here, I don't have Asagi. This Asagi, Battle Asagi. So it's on gray, as you can see, but I do have Umbra Sakura, so I have it on yellow. The max level reach, that also affects. I don't think I have a supporter that is not at max level, like at least one copy, so everything is going to be on blue here. And obviously the ones that I don't have acquired obviously don't have the max level, right? And the last one is max intimacy. So when you get max intimacy, you also get this. As you progress and you level up your supporters, you're going to get little by little more HP. And that's super, super good. That's amazing because you're going to resist more in battle. Then another thing that you have to take into consideration is that as you progress, you start to unlock these effects. For example, Home Alone is one of the most popular effects, but new players probably don't have Home Alone because you need this supporter, Katajina. It was one of the first supporters and it's one of the worst supporters, but you need it for this formation that increases critical rate of melee attacks by 8% and increases critical damage of melee attacks by 15%. But, one thing that I have to mention, and one thing that I want you guys to do, if possible, use the name of Fuma. Please, use the name of Fuma. It's F2P, none of these are limited. It even has an SR supporter here. So it is easy to do, it's doable. Eventually you'll get these supporters if you roll on the gacha. Or you can use the selective ticket to unlock them, but I wouldn't suggest that. Though it is super strong, this effect, I do not recommend that you use the selective ticket. Just use your gacha tickets and wait for it. So what does this do? Increases damage dealt with normal attacks to enemies with debuffs by 6%. Well, that doesn't sound strong, right? But then it says, reduce the damage taken from bosses by 20%. The most difficult enemies are the bosses. So getting a 20% damage reduction is amazing. This is what I always use on VR and any other kind of challenging content. So you want this. There's a bunch of other effects that you may want, but like go don't try to get a specific supporter that is bad only to get that effect. For example, increase damage dealt with melee attacks by 10%. That's good. That's generic good. But I need this Asagi, which is pretty bad. So I guess I'll drop that. So yeah, that's the thing. You don't want to roll for bad supporter just to unlock this. I mean, if you're a collector, it's fine. If you invest money, it's fine. But if you're 100% F2P, don't go for this, please. Then we have the Armory. Look at this selection. I think this is the max amount of damage that you can get. I don't know if there's a better combination. If there is one, please let me know in the comments. But with this, I get 98 more attack. Well, not more attack, 98% more attack. And what are we using? We're using one copy of the gacha weapons. We're using one copy of the terrible demon weapons that are an event weapon. And we're using one copy of a summer weapon. The summer weapons always come back. I guess they're coming back. It will be weird if they didn't. So these are gonna be easy to get, the summer weapons. They give us a ton of tickets last time, so probably we're gonna receive more tickets and you're gonna be able to get the weapons. The gacha weapons you eventually will get in the gacha. They drop and you can just put them there and it helps. And then these ones. These ones you're going to get, but like we have had repeats of those, so you're not gonna get some of them. You have to wait for whatever Armory gives you. So, yeah. The problem is not getting the weapons, but getting all the weapons for one character. I'm getting bonuses for using weapons. Let's see. Like, it doesn't say the ones that are active. For example, here, I'm getting this because I have the summer weapons. I'm getting all of these because I have gacha weapons, but it also counts. This one also counts on this, the demo weapons that are events. Then I'm getting which one? Like character specific ones. Where are they? I guess, yeah. I'm getting these because I have 3 weapons that come from Shiranui, 3 that come from Rinko, 3 that come from who is it? Sakura. And I'm getting this because I'm using URs. So yeah, that's how you get a lot of damage, by putting those weapons. So never ever ever burn a weapon if you haven't maxed it out. Don't dismantle them, don't re-roll them. I do not suggest that because there's uses for those. I mean, if you already max it out and you get another copy, an example here, inventory, let's see, burn, yeah, this one. Here I have a weapon 5 out of 5. I got it like, I never rolled for this one, I just got it as something that eventually appeared on the gacha. And if you go for the long run, if you're gonna play this long term, eventually you're going to get all these weapons. And eventually you're gonna have one that is maxed out and you get an extra copy and you can burn it then. You can use the exchange facility. But before that, don't exchange them, please. You want to use this on your armory. You want to use this as another weapon in case you don't have anything better. So you never know when you're gonna use them. That's why I suggest that you keep them, and when you max them out, you use the rest for whatever you want. Then, another thing that makes an account strong. That's gonna be awakening. This is super, super, super important. I have like 100. I have 120 more attack against all enemies in any kind of damage, just because I have maxed out all the damage awakening skills. And I have like, it's over 100% damage reduction against all enemies. Not exactly 110, it's like 108, but it is a good amount of damage reduction just because I have the awakening skills. If you want to achieve this, the ideal scenario is that you get all the characters and you awaken them evenly. That's the best way to do it. You do like 3 that do challenging content, like max them out, and then the rest you evenly awaken them. If you want a suggestion, guys, it really depends on what kind of limited equipment you have, because the limited equipment are always going to be the best ones. But if I had to give you recommendations, I would say Eleanor, Shisui, and Shizuru. Those are like 3 excellent, like super good characters. Shizuru is already good by herself, but with the limited weapon is even better. The same goes for Shisui, and Eleanor is like really, really busted if you have the limited weapon. If you don't have the limited weapon and you don't like her, maybe go for Astaroth, because she's generally good. Astaroth, Lina, Spinel are generally good damage dealers. Murasaki is also a good option. Felicia is also a good option because they are utility. Of course, Emily is very busted. So yeah, those are some options if you want like to select 3 characters to get to level 87 to max, so that you evenly spread your resources with the rest of the characters to strengthen your awakening skills. So yeah, those are 3 very important things that are going to affect your performance. These do not affect the performance. Max AP, this is for using potions. Additional drop, this is for farming. And EXP, you should never use, never ever. It is not worth it. That's the thing, because if you want additional EXP, use the resources that they give us, like not the heavy shika. Well, the heavy shika is also good. The potions that they give us, the talisman that they give us, the Easter eggs that they give us. Yeah, use those instead. Like we don't have like a ton of those, but it is useful. You can also equip people in the library, like just remove them from one place, and then you start using your AP, and then you put everyone else back to their original place if you want to level up quickly. That's a thing. Let's see. What else makes an account strong? Definitely enhancing this. It takes time to work on the special activities, but the ones that you want definitely are Headmistress Office, Classroom, and Schoolfield. Headmistress Office allows you to AP multiplier. Wait. Yeah, it allows you to make more runs on whenever you go farming. So that is very valuable. Then the AP Max, it's, well, you're going to increase your maximum amount of AP, and BP Max, the same. From 5 you go to 15, so that's great. Then, the next that you want to do are Hot Spring and Launch. The other ones are like good and an extra benefit. The third one that you want is Infirmary, because that helps you with BR, but the other ones are going to give you resources like operational plan, beads and emblems. So yeah, you want this, and here, honestly, you want the crafting facility because the crafting facility is useful. You want the exchange facility, but not when you're starting. And you want the dispatch facility to get more gems and coins. I mean, it is not a high priority, this one. It's just an extra benefit. These ones I never use. The EXP facility I never use. I mean, I'm using it right now, but it's just to complete missions with the Golden Pass. The weapon pass facility you don't use for the most part. The same is for Golden Pass. And this works especially now that we have more things to spend our skill points. But it is not that impactful. It is more impactful to use potions. So yeah, that the special activities also strengthen your account. What else is strengthen your account? Well, now, yes, the weapons. Let's say that you don't have money to spend on the game, or that you have pretty bad luck. Well, just go for the arena weapons. The arena weapons are, I don't have an arena weapon here because I have them equipped, you see? The arena weapons are pretty strong. They are just beat sticks, but that's the only thing you need. The stats are really worth it. They are the stats of a UR, of a standard UR weapon, like this. Let's see, this is, no, not a good example. Let me find something that is, yeah, this. 5 out of 5 plus 13, 5,766, 7,544. On the other hand, this also is 5 out of 5 and plus 13. So you see that even the attack stat is higher and the critical rate is higher. So it is more powerful than this. That is limited. But obviously, the benefit of the limited is the effect that it has. But as a beat stick, they work pretty well. So do not underestimate the power of the arena weapons. Those are amazing. Yes, let's continue. So obviously, another important thing that you want to strengthen your account is to always get all the copies, not this one, all the copies of the available supporters. Super, super important. In this game, we have events every week. And those events have a roulette that you have to roll. And as a result, you're going to get resources and, more importantly, supporters. Sometimes you get weapons, but for the most part is supporters. The supporters usually have good effects that are going to enhance your performance. They give you HP, they give you defense, so they're pretty valuable, but also they have extra effects. An example of an F2P supporter, this one. Increases damage dealt with skills to enemies with debuffs by 32%. That's good. That's generally good. You can use that. Debuffing the enemy nowadays is pretty easy. On the other hand, there are some bad effects, but even if they're bad, get all the copies. You never know when the game is going to receive some change that makes them good. So always have at least one copy max out of those supporters. For example, reduce damage taken from enemies by 30% when debuffed or stunned. In the case of Queen Arachne, it is not that hard that you get it is not that rare that you get a debuff, so maybe you can have this active, like most of the time. But even so, I don't think Queen Arachne is that aggressive that you always have this active on the debuff department. So yeah, that's another thing. Always get your copies of the F2P supporters. Yes, like there's some things that are really busted that are F2P that you want to have, and you never know when they're gonna become like super viable. So do get as many copies of the supporters as possible, because sometimes we don't get more reruns. Well, we don't get more reruns after the second time, and Origome is a special case. She never received her rerun because server merge and such. But I always regret that I didn't make the effort at the start of the game to get all the copies. But it was really rough for me at the beginning. So if you don't get all the copies on your first event, that's, I mean, understandable. It's not that it's acceptable, it's understandable. And there's little to be done about that. But make make a big effort to get all the supporters later. Another thing that is going to affect your performance is going to be your UR Magatamas. Well, Magatamas in general. At the beginning of the game, you want to get like, where do I have them? You're gonna get something like this, but you want to focus your effects so that they look something like this. The first thing that you need to get is 4 Magatamas, SR Magatamas, that says damage against all enemies. That's the cheapest way to deal damage to all enemies effectively and increase your performance. Then you want to do specialized Magatamas that look like this: anti-machine, anti-demon, and anti-human. Then you want to make them look like this, so that you maximize your damage. Then you want to use hammers to make them look like this, so that they have a higher attack stat. Little by little, you're gonna be increasing your damage, and you're gonna be tackling more challenging content and receive better rewards. So it is just a matter of working a little bit every day. Let's see. Also, enchanting your weapons and supporters is gonna be super useful because you increase your attack stat and you increase your HP and defense. But my recommendation is that you don't go beyond 12. 12 is like the sweet spot. If you go to 10, that's also fine. 10 is pretty good, but going to 12 is pretty easy, in my opinion. Going to 13, 14, and 15, that's hard. You would prefer to use your enchant boosters on those levels. Also, nowadays it's pretty easy because we can craft enchant boosters. So that's another thing. Let's see. The crest is a thing, but not for most content. So these are like effects. I never use this. So are effects that enhance the performance of your characters or specific characters. But usually that's for PvP, and there's one exception. Tower. You also apply these effects on tower. But for the most part, they are not that impactful. Unless you're a PvP enthusiast. Let's see. Another thing that enhances your performance. Let me check. It was something about the supporters and the Magatamas. Well, another thing that is going to affect your performance are the costumes. So I don't like that because they should be purely aesthetic. But if I go to a character, you're gonna see that the custom gives a stat. This one gives me 307 attack and 407 defense. So the more customs you give to a character, the more powerful it's going to be. The characters that you select to get to max level, you should buy all their costumes. I mean, I usually don't buy these ones. I didn't get the summer one. That's gonna be rough. That's gonna be super rough, but whatever. So you want to get as many customs as possible, but since this costs like 300 gems each custom, and if you see, supposedly Grimoire thinks that 300 gems are worth $23. So that's more or less what you have to spend to get one custom, and it's pretty expensive if you ask me. But you get like enough gems in an F2P way to buy the costumes yourself. So focus on 3 characters. That's my recommendation. If you can spend, you can focus on more characters, but it really depends on context. What else? Let's see. Um, Another thing that you have to do to strengthen your account is work on this. Uh, these are going to increase your stats and your damage and your defense, everything. And also this. This is a new way to increase your stats, but it's not that impactful. It's only 350% more stats. So this one is not as impactful as this one, because this one is going to give me 25% more attack. That a percentage. I like that. Yeah. So also you need two weapons, as you can see. So always have two weapons. UR weapons preferably. Let's see. Other than that, what else can enhance your performance? Here, arena. Let me check. I think that I'm missing something, and I don't remember what it was. Weapons, supporters, customs, Taimanin. Like having more Taimanin doesn't help that much. It increases the amount of AP that you have, but it doesn't like strengthen your other Taimanins. Uh-huh. Another important thing is to have Taimanins of different colors. Preferably, you want to use. Look, we have colors, so you want to have Taimanins for different colors. Since sometimes there's gonna be reduction against a specific color, damage reduction against a specific colors. Recommendations: Shisui, an Astaroth for red, and Murasaki too, and Espinal. Like everything is good, but let's go with Shisui and Murasaki. Those are the best. Then for blue, you would want, let's see, Lina. Oh my god, Lina and Micah, because you also want to divide between range and melee. And for assist, you want Eleanor, as I said, Emily, and maybe Felicia. Yeah. So also be wary of what's the role of your characters. Knowing your what your characters can do is going to improve your performance, because I used to play a long time ago basic focus. I would go with all my Taimanin with the Taimanin art to enhance their basic attacks, but not all the Taimanins are good on basic attacks. For example, Micah is terrible on basic attacks. She has a build for basic attacks, but it is not that good. You don't want it. So you can do that. You can do let's see which other one. Yes, I would play basic here, but she's a better character for skill damage. If you want to play basic, you want to use, for example, Asagi. Knowing the roles and what they can do is going to greatly enhance your performance in the game. For example, Asagi, it can be a tank, can be a fast attacker, can be a speed control unit. Emily can be a healer, a supporter, a main attacker with HP recovery. Ingrid can only be a main attacker and attack a debuffer in the way of attack, but mainly she's a damage dealer. She can be tank, but she's difficult to build as a tank. She can only be tank in blue because of the lack of HP recovery, natural HP recovery. So know your roles. This can be an attacker, like she debuff, but it is not her main role. It would seem because of how good she's on green, but with other skills like reduce damage, no, reduce speed, reduce damage taken. Yeah, she has a speed reduction and defense reduction, but only on green. Other than that, reduce damage again. On other colors, she's not going to be a debuffer. On green, she's a debuffer. She's a tank. She's an attacker. And that's it. Like, that's it. Shizuru is a healer. Felicia is a healer. So know your roles. That's super, super important. What else is going to enhance your performance? Yeah, I remember now. Yeah. Farming daily. You don't want to skip, at least, the things that are limited. For example, secret daily quests are going to give you bits and elements. Those are limited throughout the day. You can only farm a certain amount of times, once per character. So you want to farm you want to farm this as much as possible. The same goes for VR. You can farm this a limited amount of times. But things like arena coins, you can farm them as much as you want as long as you have a BP refills, or you can farm it as much as you want as you have BP. You can use your daily BP. The same can be said about all the resources in daily quests or events, because you just use AP refills, the ones that we get for free, or the ones that you buy, or your natural AP, and you're gonna farm this, and you're going to make your account stronger. But there's a really big difference between the people who farm daily, all the daily resources, and those who don't, because you're gonna have the weapons. Let me show you. For example, here I already have this 5 out of 5, and I have this 3 out of 5, and these weapons drastically enhance your performance on VR, and I mean by a lot. So you do want to farm these points daily so that you can buy those weapons and get those extremely strong resources. So yeah, farm daily those things. Like, if you cannot do it, if you cannot connect to the game like twice a day or 3 times a day or play a lot, just do those things with your AP. Just do the and in fact, if you don't have like much time, save your skip tickets for that. Just connect and use your skip tickets there. It's completely fine. If time is more valuable for you, then do that. Use your skip tickets here to farm this daily. Depending on the number of characters, you may not be generating enough tickets to do that, but maybe one day you can farm manually, for example. So yeah, farming does a big difference, guys. So those are some tips and some things that you have to take into consideration to make your account strong. Like, my account is strong, yes, because I can roll nowadays. In the beginning, as you can see, I don't have the limited stuff, and thanks to let's say the F2P gachas that we got, the 100 free pulls that we got a couple times, I got a bunch of the standard supporters. I got all the F2P supporters, but the the limited ones, I couldn't get all of them, and I won't be able to get all of them. But I see which are valuable, and I try to roll for them to also have those options. And look, I don't have Sayaneo, and she's nor do I have Chikage. Those are F2P, and I don't have them because they haven't added them to. Let me check. Here. Aren't they here already? Yeah, I don't have them because they are not here right now. And I have had bad luck here on the gacha, I guess. So, yeah, do farm daily, do try to work little by little on your account. That's what really makes a difference, guys. So, I hope that you find this useful. I hope that you don't get bored at the end. But we're going to stop here, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!